Mike, you know what these games coming up are all about, having played here. How different is it in Georgia, Alabama, those kind of games for a player?
You know, when I was here, we called it Amen Corner. You know, we had it, and it was just the pinnacle of your season. You know, you have those games sitting out there, and you know, playing Georgia. Most of the time, you had half our team was from Georgia, and the other half was, you know, probably from Alabama. So, you know, I think everybody just understood it was just given. Those were, you know, the rivalry games. Those were the games that define your season, and you know, it was just an understanding.
Is it different on the field, though? Is the intensity different on the field in those games than other games?
You know what? I haven't coached in them right now, so I can't.
When you played.
When I played, oh, no doubt, because you pretty much had teammates that played on those teams, and it was different. You know, and everybody just, you know, your families made a big deal out of it, and when Georgia came to town, and like I said, it's the oldest rivalry in the South, and it was just one of those games you knew that, you know, my roommate or so was from Georgia, and he played with such and such, and it was just one of those things. It was like fighting your brother.
What was the difference for you as a player between Georgia week and Alabama week?
What was the difference as a player? One at a time. You know, most of the time they're really good football teams, like they are now. And you know, as a player, you knew that they were pretty much the best in the league. One of those two were, and like I said, it was just, you knew so many people played for them.
This week is a little different when you kind of look at your lineup. We talked about having a bunch of young guys in there. You don't have a whole lot of grizzled veterans that have been through a lot of these games coming up.
No, but you know, the season we've been through, you know, we're 9 games in, and that's over, you know, 75% of the season. So the guys that's playing now, I mean, they don't have a lot of experience, but they've been in some wars, so they have something to go back and rely on. So, you know, they've been through it. All of them been through it, 9 games, and that's enough. So, you know, we're not young anymore. You know, this is what you come to Auburn for. These are the games you come to Auburn to play, and they're excited. They're excited about being off, and I think a lot of guys in my room are from the state of Georgia, so they'll be excited.
How did Gabe do his first start?
You know what? He did okay, but by no means, like I told him, has he arrived. And him and Carter are still competing. And Gabe, Carter was beat up last week, and Gabe got an opportunity. So I told him, I said, that's what college football is all about. It's who's competing for a position. And I think, you know, the 9th week of the season, the 10th game of the season, you still got to battle at that position. You know, either you're not very good or both of them very good. So I think we got a good thing going there with those two. Both of them will play. It's just a matter of who gets to start.
Will Kenneth play more in this game, though?
Yes, he will. He will. Kenneth was really, you know, hadn't played well the last 2 weeks, and he was beat up. So if I told him before the game, Ole Miss, if I can get away without playing you a lot, I wouldn't. It wasn't a deal where, you know, I didn't play him because I didn't think he could, you know, he could handle it, because he started 9 games for us. So it's just a matter of, that was an opportunity to give him a rest. That was an opportunity to get him in the bye week, get him a rest, and try to get him back healthy for this stretch, because we're gonna need all of them.
Has Gabe told you anything about facing Isaiah and stuff?
No, you know what? He hadn't said much about it. He hadn't, but I'm sure in the back of his mind, playing against his teammate, and he wants to do well. And I'm sure it's the same thing with Isaiah. He playing, you know, they'll have a personal thing going, but at the same time, you know, it's really not about him and Isaiah. It's about, you know, we going over there playing well as a defense against their offense.
What did you say out of Devontae? You talked about moving him outside. He played some in. What did you say out of him out there?
You know what? That kid is just so athletic, and he kind of surprised me of how well he just transitioned to it. It looked like he's been out there all season, and he's just an athletic kid that, you know, once he finds his home, and we got some boiling there. He's going to be a name they talk about at Auburn for years to come, and even when he's gone. So I'm excited about those two guys. I think we got some really, really talented young guys, and it's just going to come down to, you know, how well they play against the big boys, because these are the ones you come to Auburn for.
So you don't know for sure where he'll end up, like, next season?
You know what? I really don't know. I really don't know right now, because he's shown that he could possibly be out there. But again, he's probably 280. So, you know, after the season, we'll sit down and we'll figure out what's the best plan for him. But, you know, wherever he plays, he's going to be fine.
Have all the young guys in general, the freshmen in particular, have they made even more progress maybe than you would have anticipated when you started out?
Probably so. Just because of the only reference that I had with freshman playing is when I played and when playing last year at Vanderbilt, and that freshman couldn't do it. But these guys have really adapted faster than I thought to be able to go out and play against the LSUs and actually compete. The Ole Misses and the Clemson, those teams, and Mississippi State, to go out and do that, and was in high school last year, a lot of them. So, that is just advancement of football that those guys have taken in, and it has surprised me how well they came along. So, but the talent was there. It's just a matter of how fast they were going to catch on to the game, and it has surprised me how fast some of them caught on and are still catching on.
How important is this week for you? Because I know you're a guy that stress fundamentals, hands. Now that you have a chance to kind of go back and touch on those things again and spend a lot of time on it, how big is that this week?
It's really big because you get so caught up into scheming, and the fundamentals sometimes get lost because you're trying to make sure that they're running the defense right. But it all boils down to your hands, your feet, and your eyes. And to be able to go back and revisit some of those drills that we've done, to get back to the hand stuff, was just invaluable. Because it's like reteaching them. They've done it for 9 weeks, but they hadn't done those drills, so you could see a little fall off. But it was good to just go back and retouch on some of those things.